going on, Comic Book Nation? Jim Viscardi here, and today we've got a very special guest stopping by the studio at Comic-Con 2018. It's none other than the original Red Power Ranger himself, Austin St. John. Austin, welcome, man. Appreciate you coming by.
Thanks. It's good to be here. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So obviously this year, 25th anniversary of Power Rangers. You obviously, there is no Power Rangers without the original team leader. What's it been like for you, looking back on it all, because I imagine it's been a crazy ride for you.
It has. It's been insane. I mean, I left all of this kind of behind me for a while. Went on 12 years as a firefighter paramedic in DC, 4 years as a medic in the Middle East for the war.
Real life hero.
I tried. 2014, I retired and kind of came back to all of this. Mm-hmm. And since then, I've done 3 films. I have a TV series all coming out later this year. I'm here at San Diego Comic-Con actually releasing a video game that I'm executive producing called Black Salt Corruption. Mm-hmm. And we've had some massive attention for it. We've got All Digital Def coming out, 100 million followers. They're going to be doing some big stuff. We're talking with Sony. We have Microsoft. We have all the big boys on board. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like Street Fighter meets Devil May Cry.
Right.
So I've gone from that to, I shot a faith-based romantic comedy last year called A Walk with Grace with Stephen Baldwin and quite a few other guys from CSI Miami, and some great cast members, great actors and actresses. And I shot a rated R comedy with John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard and Supergirl called Tres Leches. I did a TV series called Fireball Run for Amazon Prime. All that comes out later this year. And I created my own website to put out information. Mm-hmm. So that's austinstjohn.biz, but you don't have to go shopping there. You can just look for information. So it's a lot. I sit on the board for 3 different charities. Autismpower.org we've been working on for years, and we finally got that. It's done. The 501c3 is complete. We had somebody donate a building, and we're working over the next few years to have some pretty incredible approaches to the way that autism is dealt with. So technology and the ability to teach people who are in the spectrum how to fund and finance and live as much as they can at an independent level. Right. And answer questions for caregivers on autism, like what happens when I'm gone? Mm-hmm. Who cares for my brother, son, daughter, mother, loved one, because you don't want them to go to the state. So Heartland Image Foundation, another charity, and Healthier Choices for a Hungry Child. We've got now tied into some stuff that we're talking to VH2 and some other networks about for a TV show next year. So I kind of went from completely off the radar to right back in the middle of it. And I'm still not sure how I feel about it.
So how would you say, because you've been around your fair share of fan events and things like that, from back when you started on Power Rangers to sort of what they look like today. What would you say maybe the biggest difference between the two?
I haven't seen any of the new series. So,
no, I just mean like fan event, like something like San Diego in general. Compared to just like the crowds and the fan. Like, I mean, the fan base is
San Diego's insane.
Right.
I went in kind of low key last night, t-shirt, blue jeans, flip-flops, ball cap, and just trying to get a lay of the land of all the places I'm going to be. So I had the Cyanide and Happiness booth, which I'll be at, and I was trying to find that at 12:34, and then trying to make it down to like Bluefin in the 3500s, and then make it to like AA25 for the Black Salt streaming, and I'm just like, it's massive. So this, compared to any other con, it's the biggest in the world for a reason. I drove up today to come to this interview, and I was looking at the lines.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
I'm terrified. I've avoided this show for 4 years because of these crowds.
Right.
And now I'm here, so I don't know if I'll make it out alive.
Nice. So I got to ask you, the television landscape is sort of changing in such a huge way, in that, like, you get streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon all sort of coming in. It seems like the Power Rangers fan base has wanted a sort of a darker take on or maybe a take with a bit of an edge. I know it's something that David Yost and Amy Jo Johnson have been interested in. If they came calling to get you involved in a bit of a harder take, would you be up for it?
It was written well.
Yeah.
And knowing those two, I'm sure it would be. I think AJ, from the few interactions I've seen of many of my cast members while I was gone, I hear she's worked hard in the area of direction, and I know Dave's got the experience in production. So I'm pretty sure they could put something together that would be pretty great.
What would you say? I feel like just even you talking about some of the stuff that you've done in, during your break, it feels like the qualities of the character of Jason felt like a lot of those maybe just sort of came from you, just as far as being a leader and sort of fearless and all that. What would you say are some of the qualities that anyone else stepping into that Red Ranger role or that leader role needs to sort of have to?
Walk softly and carry a big stick. I modeled the character after my mom and dad. My mom was she was the first female cop in the state of New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
In the 70s. It was either the state or the city of Roswell. But I mean, it was the 70s where her own police brothers, they were all brothers at the time. Some of them tried to have her killed because she wore a skirt and wanted a badge and a gun. So my mom was, and is, a tough lady. But she still knows how to be a lady. She's a lady,
right?
But she's got some fortitude to her. My father, Mustanger in the Marine Corps, which means he was enlisted, got out, went to college, came back as an officer. So he's exceptionally respected because he understands what enlisted men go through, and he's still an officer. And he was the kind of guy who would walk into the room, he was very soft-spoken. But when he walked into the room, people shut up and heads turned and they paid attention. So he never had to command that sort of attention, and neither did my mother. They were always just respected. And I think that's what I wanted for Jason. I wanted him to let his team have all the light and glory they needed, and only step forward when he had to. He wasn't a guy who wanted to be a leader. He wasn't a guy who saw himself as the great. He wasn't a showboat. He wasn't flashy or fancy. He was a guy that needed to be there when it hit the fan. And so I think humility, respect for his teammates, and always, I guess, just looking to do what's right, no matter how hard it is. And it's easier kind of said than done, but that was what I tried for anyway. And I hope it worked. It's something I've carried through with my real life. Aside from a few colossal mistakes, I think I've done a pretty good job. But yeah.
Nice, cool. I got two more questions for you, and then we'll let you go. So Parents that got a 25th anniversary episode coming up. Is that something that you're involved with at all, or?
Well, I don't have anything currently tied into the 25th. I mean, I'm here with Bluefin Distributors, and one of the things, they're launching a 25th year anniversary Red Ranger flip head, Green Ranger flip head. So I'm here to work with them and help them out with that. I had some initial talks for the first re-release of the film about maybe being involved. That didn't work out. Now Hasbro's bought out the entire show at $522 million. Haim Saban, I still hate you. It's kind of respect your business prowess, but it's crazy. So now that all that's gone on, I'm kind of, like, if you look at what Hasbro's done with G.I. Joe, I'm really curious to see where they take it with the next film.
Right.
And there hasn't been any official release that I know of, we're going to do it, but
I mean,
why would you buy it and let it sit flat? A little common sense here,
Right.
So I hope so. And if it was really good, I'd love to be involved again.
That's awesome. So last question. So you mentioned you've gotten really sort of back involved with your fan base. You do streaming on Facebook, quite a bit. Is that just sort of like, putting on an old pair of jeans and with that sort of comfort level and interacting with your fans again, or was it a little bit weird for you at first?
It was definitely. I mean, I retired from overseas, so it was definitely. People are now shooting cameras at me instead of rifles. So it was an extreme change, much more comfortable in that I didn't feel like I was going to die. But I think my job right now, when I go to these Comic-Cons, I get to travel around the world and listen to people tell me how much they love either my character or one of my castmates' characters. But ultimately, they all love the show. That's the ultimate job satisfaction. There's nothing hard about that. I don't complain. I love meeting with the fans. I love hearing what they have to say. There's a few out there that, you know, have asked me to sign some interesting bits and pieces. There are another few who've had a few things tattooed and some interesting areas. But other than a few awkward moments, it's pretty incredible. I love it.
Nice, cool. So if people are looking for more information on your stuff, they can go to your site?
Yeah, right? austinstjohn.biz, and you can skip the shopping and just go to the project page or my 2018 tour. Later this year, I've got Jakarta, Wales, Southampton, UK, and maybe doing some charity work in the jungle in India and the Amazon in Brazil, providing remote medicine, so a lot.
Austin St. John World Tour.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. For more on Power Rangers and San Diego Comic-Con 2018, make sure to check out comicbook.com.